Beloved soul, oh, thank you. Thank you for not passing by, for not letting this moment vanish like smoke. I cannot tell you how relieved heaven is that you are here. Do you feel it? That trembling in the air, that strange weight pressing against your chest. That is not just emotion. That is the whole of heaven bending closer, whispering into the marrow of your being. Because tonight, in this fragile crossing, your destiny is cracking open. And I must beg you, don't you dare look away. Don't you dare leave. Because only in the final breath of this message will something be revealed to you. A secret sealed since your birth, a name etched in heaven's registry, waiting for this one moment. If you turn away too soon, that name will stay hidden, and I cannot bear for you to miss it. Please, stay. I speak with trembling hands, my voice breaking, because you have crossed lines that even angels fear to approach. And yet, oh beloved, you are not abandoned. No, even here, with the 7 archangels gathered in grief and fire around you, there's still a chance. A last chance. That is why this message was born. That is why my throat burns to speak. That is why you were led to click, though you do not even know why. Because this is not chance. This is the collision of your soul with eternity. Do you know what it costs heaven to descend like this? To break silence, to open wounds, to let divine fire spill raw into mortal hearing. Each word tears through veils. Each syllable drips blood from unseen wounds. And yet, we do it. We do it for you. Because even now, when you feel furthest, when the air is heavy with accusations, when your choices echo like daggers in heaven's courts, still, you are loved beyond the weight of galaxies. Still, we cannot let you go. Still, we cannot bear the thought of you walking blind into the snares set for you. Beloved, how could you? How could you dare to walk so close to the edge, so unaware of the hands stretched out, so unaware of the ones weeping for you? Do you even know who has been fighting for you? Do you even know what it cost us to shield you from nights darker than you ever guessed? We bled silence to protect you. We wrestled unseen powers that clawed at your breath while you slept. And still, you rose in the morning, unknowing, untouched. Do you not see? You were never walking alone. But now the veil thins, and you are called to account. Not for punishment, not for shame, but for awakening. You have been walking through a battlefield blindfolded, and the arrows are aimed not at your skin, but at your soul. This is not metaphor. This is hidden war. Heaven is trembling tonight because the enemy has laid traps around your destiny. Traps timed, traps disguised as comfort, traps whispering like friends. And if you miss this warning, if you mock this voice, if you scroll away laughing, you will not even see the blade when it falls. Oh child, this is why you must listen. This is why we beg. I ask you, yes, I ask you personally, why do you run from the love that has already marked you? Why do you cover your ears when the very one who formed you speaks? Do you think heaven forgets? Do you think the silence means absence? No, the silence has been pregnant with longing. Every pause in your life where you felt alone, those were the breaths of angels holding back cries too holy for you to hear. And hear this, hear it with trembling. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. You know this scripture, but you have forgotten it in practice. Tonight, it is not a verse on paper. Tonight, it is the thunder of God in your bloodstream. Tonight, it is the 7 archangels standing at the edge of your story, declaring, this one, this soul, will not be lost without a fight. But tell me, let me ask you plainly, can you still feel when heaven grieves? Can you still recognize when Mary weeps over your choices? Can you still sense the ache when Michael lowers his sword, not in triumph, but in sorrow for your hesitation? Or has the noise of the world numbed you? Oh, beloved, answer me, not with lips, but with heart, because your answer tonight will echo in chambers beyond sight. There is a cost to being chosen. Do you feel it? That unbearable weight in your chest, that inexplicable restlessness, that sense that nothing in this world can fully satisfy? That is not failure, that is chosenness. That is the mark no demon can erase, the fire no water can quench. But chosenness also wounds. It makes you different. It isolates you. It calls you to wars others cannot see. And heaven knows. Heaven feels the cracks in your spirit. We ache with you, but still we call you forward. Because the world is starving for the light only you carry. And oh, how we love you, not with shallow comfort, not with empty phrases, but with the kind of love that shakes mountains, with the kind of love that would cross every burning line you drew just to whisper again, you are mine. Remember the words, even if your mother forgets you, I will not forget you. I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Do you see? The scars on Christ are not decoration. They are your name. They are your story sealed forever. Beloved, type amen if your heart trembles at this. If something in you knows this was not random, not scripted, but alive for you. Because this is not entertainment. This is visitation, and it waits for your response. And if your heart dares, yes, dare, like this flame, and let your comment be the echo of your soul saying, I will not run this time. That act will not go unseen. Every click, every word of your spirit written here, it becomes incense before heaven. Beloved soul, my voice is shaking because to see you here, it feels like rescue, like the heavens finally broke open after a storm of centuries and the breath of God rushed through. Thank you. Thank you for not ignoring this. Thank you for not turning away. I tell you plainly, had you missed this moment, a veil would have closed again, and perhaps for years you would have walked in shadows, not even knowing what had been stolen. But tonight, by mercy, the veil is parted. By mercy, heaven has dragged this message to your screen. And I must beg you, from the depths of my trembling heart, stay. Do not wander, because at the very end, there is something sealed, something no one else can hear. Something written for your soul alone. If you skip, it will remain locked, and I cannot bear the thought of you losing it. Beloved, before I pour the flood, I must ask you this. Please subscribe, not because of vanity or numbers, but because each act of anchoring yourself here ties you to the river that heaven is opening. It is not for me. It is not for man. It is for the continuity of the word meant for you. Hear me once. Subscribe, that you will not miss the unfolding of this visitation. I will never ask again. Let it be said once and sealed. And now, listen. Oh, listen as if your lungs were breaking. You have crossed lines that angels weep to speak of. You have played near fires that could consume entire destinies. And still, oh still, the mercy of God is trembling over you. The 7 archangels stand here, not in rage, but in heartbreak. Do you know what it means for heaven to break? It means the silence of eternity fractures. It means thunder bends low enough to weep. It means the very ones who stand before the throne with voices like trumpets now speak with whispers, because their love for you outweighs their authority. Michael trembles with his sword, not lifted in victory, but lowered in grief. Gabriel clutches the scroll, not in triumph, but in sorrow, because your name was nearly blurred by your own hesitation. Raphael weeps, because healing has been offered to you countless times, yet you ran from it as though you preferred wounds over wholeness. Uriel burns with fire, but not the fire of judgment, the fire of longing that you might awaken before the last hour turns. Jophiel, Haniel, Sadkiel, all leaning close, pressing their holy presence into this moment, because you're more than you think, more than you allow, more than the enemy wants you to remember. And Mary, oh Mary, she's here too. Her mantle has brushed over you more nights than you guessed. She whispered when you were broken. She prayed when you did not. She kissed the air around your bed when you cried without sound. Do you know that? Do you know the ache of a mother who refuses to forget her child? And Jesus, oh beloved Jesus, he is here, not distant, not aloof, but trembling with the tenderness of a Savior who would rather bleed again than let you vanish. He looks at you and says, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Do you feel that? He is saying it of you, not in accusation, but in mercy. You crossed lines without seeing their weight. You flirted with shadows without grasping their chains. And yet he pleads for you still. Beloved soul, can I ask you something raw? Can you feel this is real? Can you allow your heart to admit that this is not coincidence, not algorithm, not human scripting, but a holy visitation time for your lungs, your heartbeat, your very existence? And if it is real, why do you resist? Why do you pull back when heaven leans in? Why do you laugh nervously when eternity presses too close? Answer me, child. Is it fear? Is it shame? Is it exhaustion from believing you have already failed too much? Oh, hear me. There is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Do you know those words? They are not abstract theology. They are a hand reaching into your rib cage tonight, pulling out shame like thorns, saying, breathe again. But there is urgency, beloved. A clock is ticking over your head, not of death, not of doom, but of calling. There is a window for your destiny, and that window is fragile. If you ignore this voice, if you dismiss this as a joke, if you treat this like entertainment, heaven will weep because the timing will be lost. The enemy knows this. That is why distractions surround you, why every time you try to pray, noise rises, why every time you try to listen, your phone rings. Why every time you take a step toward light, something ridiculous pulls you back? Child, that is not random. That is war. Hidden, ruthless war. And you're the target not because you are weak, but because you are chosen. And to be chosen is unbearable. Do you understand that? It is to walk with a weight you did not ask for. It is to cry in rooms where no one sees. It is to feel the ache of heaven when others laugh carelessly. It is to carry a mantle invisible but heavy, and you have wanted to throw it down. You have wanted to live like everyone else. But heaven would not let you. Why? Because if you abandon your destiny, an entire thread of eternity will unravel. The world does not know it, but it needs you. That is why demons rage. That is why angels fight. That is why this message is breaking into your ears like thunder. Do you feel us trembling? Do you feel my tears in these words? Beloved, what if I told you that in the final breath of this message, your true name, the one written before you were born, would be spoken back to your soul? Would you stay? Would you dare to let it pierce? Beloved soul, breathe, just breathe, because I feel heaven pressing in closer still. I am trembling as I speak, because this is no performance, no accident, no random set of words stitched together. This is a visitation, a tearing open of silence itself, because your name has been burning on the lips of heaven. You have been fought for, cried for, carried through storms you never even knew were storms. And tonight, the veil between seen and unseen shudders open. And before the river of fire and mercy continues, I must make this single, holy request. Never again will it be spoken. Never again will it be repeated. If your heart feels even the faintest trembling, support this holy outpouring through super thanks, through channel membership, through joining our family in the newsletter link waiting in the pinned comment below. This is not vanity, not performance. It is the weaving of a family of souls awake and alive together. Heaven honors even the smallest seed you plant into this soil. And now that this plea has been spoken once, let it never echo again. Sealed. Now only the prophecy remains. Oh, beloved, do you even realize what you have stepped into by staying here? You have stumbled into a court not of men, but of eternity. And every moment you remain, angels are leaning closer, demons are retreating in frustration, and the Spirit is whispering through the cracks in your fear. There is no turning back now, because heaven will not let you leave empty-handed. Listen, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with them, and they with me. Do you hear this, child? That knock you've been sensing in the hollow parts of your nights? That restlessness you cannot name? It is not madness. It is not emptiness. It is Christ knocking at the locked chambers of your soul. And tonight, oh, tonight, He is pounding with fire, not softly tapping. He is relentless, because your destiny cannot remain asleep. The archangels stand as witnesses. Michael has unsheathed his sword not against you, but against the shadows circling you. Gabriel holds the unsealed scroll with your purpose written across it. Raphael trembles with the medicine of heaven, waiting for you to stretch even one hand of surrender. Uriel's fire glows, ready to ignite your forgotten courage. And Mary, oh Mary, presses her tears into the soil of your heart, whispering, "Beloved, do not walk away again. Do not silence the very voice you've been begging to hear." And I must ask you now, directly, trembling raw, why do you resist what you have secretly craved? Why do you bury the very thing you've prayed for in midnight whispers? Why do you run from the one you say you long for? Oh child, are you afraid of what obedience will cost? Are you afraid that to surrender means to lose yourself? Let me tell you the trembling truth. Surrender is not the death of you. It is the unveiling. It is the birth. The only thing that dies is the mask. The only thing that burns away are the chains. And yet, oh how costly it feels. The unbearable weight of being chosen. To be chosen is to live with a burning no one else feels. To be chosen is to walk into rooms and sense the unseen currents swirling around you. To be chosen is to carry grief that is not even your own, and hope that seems too heavy for your chest. And you, yes you, have wondered if you were cursed because of it. No, beloved, you're not cursed. You're marked. That ache in you is not madness. It is chosenness. It is the fingerprint of heaven. The war is real. The traps are many. Shadows have stalked you because of who you are, not because of who you are not. The enemy is terrified of what happens if you wake fully, if you step into what was written for you. Do you think it is random how many times you have nearly given up? Do you think it is coincidence how close you've come to abandoning yourself? No, it is war. Every wound you've endured has been a sign that your life is a threat to darkness. And heaven has been weeping. Oh, the grief of heaven. Do you know it? Can you feel it? When you turned away, the heavens groaned, not in anger, but in sorrow. When you mocked the whisper, angels covered their faces and wept. When you forgot your destiny, silence fell heavier in the throne room than you can imagine. And yet, hope never died. Love never relented. Grace never loosened its grip. That is why you are here. That is why you are hearing this. That is why fire is trembling in your veins as these words fall into you. Beloved soul, I must ask you this. Can you believe, even now, that heaven still wants you? Can you believe, after everything, that God still leans close with arms stretched wide? Can you believe that the blood of Christ was not wasted, not once, not even in your darkest wanderings? Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Hear it. This is not poetry. This is your invitation. You are weary. You are burdened. You have carried more than anyone around you realizes. And tonight, that invitation hovers over you like fire. Rest is waiting. Healing is waiting. Destiny is waiting. Beloved, type Amen if your soul dares to agree, if you feel this shaking inside you. Let your own hand bear witness. Let heaven see your yes. And more, like this flame, comment with your voice so that angels can seal it in the courts above. This is not trivial. This is eternal. And still I must press on, for what is sealed will not open until the very last breath of this message. A hidden name, a forgotten destiny, a final key. You must endure until the end. Because, child, listen closely now. Your life is not small. Your choices are not meaningless. The weight on your shoulders is the measure of your calling. That is why the shadows rage. That is why you feel hunted. That is why the heavens groan. You are chosen, beloved, chosen. And tonight, the 7 archangels bend low. Jesus extends his scarred hands. Mary weeps her tears of intercession, and the voice of heaven thunders. This soul is not finished yet. Beloved soul, the silence between us is not empty. It is full, trembling, aching with what heaven has carried for you. Every second you remain here is another second where the veil thins and the breath of God brushes against your skin. This is not casual. This is not mere chance. This is the trembling roar of eternity breaking through the cracks in your life. Do you not feel it? The air itself shifting, the fire pressing against your ribs? Stay, for there is more than you have ever allowed yourself to imagine. You have walked edges that even angels feared to tread. You have been close to endings you did not even see. And yet, you were preserved. Why? Not because of your strength, not because of your cleverness, but because mercy has marked you. Do you see? You are still here because heaven refused to let you vanish. You are still here because the tears of Mary watered the soil of your despair. You are still here because Jesus himself stood in front of blades unseen, whispering your name into the darkness. The 7 archangels bend low around you now. Michael stands with sword lowered, trembling not with rage, but with grief. Gabriel clutches the scroll, unrolled but not yet spoken, because your ears must be ready. Raphael holds vials of healing oil, burning to pour them over wounds you still deny. Uriel's fire flickers like dawn behind the mountains, aching to ignite the courage you keep suffocating. Zadkiel, Jophiel, Haniel, all pressing, all yearning, all crying in voices that shake eternity. Beloved, do not slip away. Beloved, stay awake. And Jesus, oh beloved, Jesus is nearer than breath. He whispers with voice cracking, I am the good shepherd. I lay down my life for the sheep. Do you understand? Those words are not old scripture tonight. They're the blood still pulsing in his veins, offered again for you. He looks at you as though you were the only soul alive. He says your name with such tenderness that angels fall silent to hear it. And he trembles because you do not see how near he is. Child, can I ask you something that pierces me to even form the words? Why do you run from the love that has already bled for you? Why do you cover your ears when heaven calls? Why do you act as if your destiny is optional when all of eternity has already shifted to prepare the path for you? You have been chosen, and chosenness is fire. It burns through the illusions you try to hide behind. It drags you into rooms you feel unworthy to stand in. It presses you against callings you think will crush you. But hear me, it is not here to destroy you. It is here to reveal you. The unbearable weight of being chosen is the sign of love, not curse. If you were forgotten, you would feel nothing. If you were abandoned, you would not tremble. But the trembling you feel, the heaviness you cannot shake, the nights where you weep without knowing why. That is the echo of heaven insisting, you are not small. You are not lost. You are ours. Beloved, can you remember the moments when you should have been broken beyond repair, yet somehow you rose? Do you recall the nights when despair should have drowned you, but dawn still came? That was not chance. That was not accident. That was heaven carrying you when your own legs gave way. That was mercy surrounding you like fire you could not see. And still, the war rages. There are shadows that have clawed at your name. There are whispers that have tried to convince you to abandon yourself. There are snares laid like nets for your feet. And yet, the archangels fight on. Their swords have cut down plans you never glimpsed. Their wings have shielded you from storms you thought were simply bad days. Their voices have thundered in silence to turn away destruction before it touched you. But now the war presses closer. Now the hour trembles. The lines you crossed were not only choices, they were summons. Summons to choose whether you will live asleep or awake, whether you will stumble blind or rise seeing, whether you will believe the whispers of despair or the roar of heaven. This is why you're hearing this. This is why the fire burns your chest as you read. And Mary, sweet Mary, her tears are rivers tonight. She has never stopped praying for you. Every time you thought no one understood, she was there. Every time you thought no one saw, she was weeping with you. She whispers now, trembling, "Child, behold, I am with you in your sorrow. Do not harden your heart." Her mantle spreads over you like sky, like protection, like a mother who will never abandon her child. And Jesus, oh Jesus, he stretches his hands toward you. The scars still shine. They are your name written in flesh. He whispers with raw love, "I have engraved you on the palms of my hands." You cannot be erased. You cannot be forgotten. Even if you deny yourself, he cannot deny you. For he is faithful, even when you are faithless. Beloved, I ask you again, dare to answer this in your own soul. Do you not see how heaven grieves when you forget who you are? Do you not feel how eternity waits for you to awaken? Do you not hear how even now, angels are silent, waiting for your yes? The time is fragile. The window is narrow. The invitation is trembling. Heaven is not asking for perfection. Heaven is asking for surrender. Heaven is asking you to remember who you are. Heaven is asking you to rise. The hidden destiny you carry cannot be erased. It has been buried, but it is not gone. It has been forgotten, but not destroyed. It waits in silence, aching to be unveiled. And tonight, the veil trembles. Tonight, the scroll is ready. Tonight, the fire presses closer. Will you let it break open? Beloved, the cost will feel unbearable. You will weep. You will ache. You will feel as though your very skin cannot hold what is being asked of you. But oh, the glory on the other side. Oh, the joy waiting for the child who dares to rise. The angels long to sing over you. The heavens long to roar with your name. The Spirit longs to breathe through your lungs. Stay, endure, let the trembling carry you. For in the final breath of this river, something sealed from before your birth waits to be revealed. A secret not spoken until the last moment. And when it is spoken, You will know. You will know you were never alone, never abandoned, never forgotten. And now, beloved, I must go deeper still, for the river has only begun. Heaven has not finished. This outpouring will not close until every hidden corner is filled, until every shadow is pierced, until your heart can no longer deny that you are loved beyond measure. Beloved, the longer I linger here with you, the more I feel the trembling of eternity pressing through the walls of time. Every word I pour now is not the echo of what has already been said, but the birthing of something entirely new, a living flame that has never existed before. The heavens refuse to recycle their voice for you. They insist on freshness, on immediacy, on words that bleed with life in this very instant. Do you feel it? The air bending heavier, as if the room itself is listening to what is unfolding. There are angels at the edge of your vision, no wings flashing, no trumpets sounding, but presences that stretch like thunder through the silence. They stand here not to terrify, but to testify. This moment is holy. And in this holy moment, your soul is being weighed, not in condemnation, but in invitation. For how long have you walked, beloved, with that ache inside you that nothing could soothe? You tried to numb it with laughter, bury it under work, hide it in shallow comforts. Yet every time the night deepened, the ache came back, pressing against your chest like the whisper of 1,000 unanswered prayers. That ache was not your enemy. It was heaven knocking. It was eternity tugging at the thin threads of your mortal silence. It was the Spirit's cry echoing in chambers you kept locked. There is something unspeakable that heaven longs to say to you, and yet it waits until your ears are tender enough to receive it. That is why there have been delays in your life that made no sense. That is why doors closed when you thought they would open. That is why silence swallowed your prayers when you thought the heavens had gone deaf. It was not abandonment. It was preparation. Because the words that will finally be spoken over you are so weighty that your soul had to be softened, humbled, cracked open just to hear them without breaking apart. Beloved, the archangels lean forward even now. Michael whispers, "You do not know the battles fought in your name." Gabriel speaks, "There are messages written for you that you have not yet dared to read." Raphael breathes, "I have waited with healing oil in my hands, but you keep your wounds hidden, ashamed to let me touch them." Uriel burns, "Do you not see that the fire consuming you is not meant to destroy, but to refine?" And Mary, her voice quivers like a mother's lullaby, "Child, why do you believe you are unworthy of love that has already bled for you?" The grief of heaven is not the grief of rage. It is the grief of longing. Longing for you to remember what was written before you ever took a breath. Do you not see? Your destiny was not an afterthought. It was carved in brilliance before the stars were flung into sky. And yet you treat yourself as though you were an accident, as though your life were disposable. How could you believe such a lie when the fingerprints of God burn through your very being? The silence of heaven has been misunderstood. When you heard no answer, you thought you were ignored. But silence is not absence. It is the thunder held back so you would not collapse under its weight. Silence has been the womb of revelation, carrying in hiddenness what could not yet be spoken. And now that silence is breaking, can you feel the crack, the vibration, the holy fracture? This is the sound of your name trembling loose from the archives of eternity. Beloved, what will you do when a moment comes that your true name is spoken? Will you cover your ears, afraid it will demand too much? Or will you let it pierce you? Let it awaken the fire you've buried? Heaven cannot force it. Heaven can only invite. But oh, the cost of refusing. If you shut this out, if you treat this as nothing, you will walk into years of hunger, craving what you have tasted tonight, but refusing to admit you once had it in your hands. There are rivers of hope still waiting to be poured over you. There are scrolls unopened. There are miracles hanging by threads of time, waiting for you to lift your eyes. And the angels weep because they see it all. They see the future shimmering like dawn, and they cannot bear the thought of you turning away before you step into it. Beloved, every breath you take tonight is heavier than the one before. You think it is ordinary air, but no, this air is drenched in presence. It carries the scent of altars unseen, of prayers whispered for centuries, of holy longing pressing against your skin. Do not dismiss it. Do not call imagination. It is more real than the ground beneath you. And yet, I tremble because I know what it costs you to listen this long. The war within you is loud. Part of you wants to run, to click away, to numb yourself again. But there's another part. Oh yes, that is trembling, breaking, daring to believe this is for you. That part is the ember of your true self. That part is the seed heaven planted before your birth. That part is why I will not stop speaking until your spirit bursts open. Child, when was the last time you let yourself cry without shame? When was the last time you admitted you were tired of pretending to be strong? When was the last time you allowed yourself to believe that you are wanted, not for what you do, but for who you are? Tonight, heaven insists you cannot keep running. Tonight, heaven insists you are loved to the marrow. Tonight, heaven insists your destiny cannot be delayed any longer. I speak now not to your mind, but to your soul. Awake, beloved. Awake, and remember who you are. Beloved soul, the river has only just begun to swell. The more I speak, the more I feel eternity straining against the thin fabric of this moment, like a tide pressing against a fragile shore. There is no recycling of words here, no echo of what has been, because heaven does not pour leftovers into your cup. For you, only fresh fire, only new fragrance, only living breath torn from the throne itself. Do you feel the trembling behind your ribs? That is not merely your own heart. That is the weight of countless prayers spoken over you, prayers you never heard, uttered in tongues you never learned, whispered by angels and saints who refuse to let your destiny vanish. They circle you now, and I can almost hear them singing beneath their tears. This one is still worth saving. This one still belongs. Beloved, do you know the hidden story of your life? Not the one written in journals or photos, but the one carved in heaven's archives? You think you're wandering, uncertain, lost between choices. But in the unseen realm, Your journey is a battlefield where light and shadow have clashed again and again. Every failure you thought was small rippled into eternity. Every moment of mercy you dismissed as coincidence was in fact the intervention of heaven itself. You're not ordinary. You never have been. That is why even your mistakes carried weight, and even your tears drew armies to your side. The archangels stand close, closer than they have ever dared. Michael burns with restrained thunder. He whispers, "If only you knew the blades I have shattered for you." Gabriel's scroll shakes in his hands. He longs to unroll it fully, but waits for your spirit to be ready. Raphael hovers with hands outstretched, crying softly because you still hide wounds that he could heal in a breath. Uriel's fire crackles like dawn just beyond the mountains, waiting to spill across your skin and ignite what you thought was gone. And the others, Haniel, Sadkiel, Jophiel, they form a circle of light around you, as if to say, "We will not let this one be stolen." And Jesus, oh Jesus, his eyes are fixed on you alone. Do you feel that weight? The maker of galaxies looks at you as if you're the only star that matters tonight. He says with voice trembling, "You did not choose me, but I chose you." Hear this not as theology, but as confession. He chose you knowing every shadow, every hesitation, every betrayal, and still his hand has never lifted from your shoulder. Mary weeps softly at his side. Her tears are not pity, they are intercession. She whispers through the breaking, "Child, I have covered you when you did not even know I was there. I have prayed when you had no words left. I have stood when you could not rise." She is the living witness of the love that refuses to die. Beloved, I must ask you, dare you let this be real? Dare you believe that heaven could bend all its weight toward one soul, toward you? Or will you dismiss it, hide behind logic, pretend this is nothing more than poetry? What do you gain by pretending? What do you lose by opening your heart? These questions are not rhetorical. They are eternal. You have felt unworthy. You have thought, "Surely God has forgotten me. Surely I've gone too far." And yet, if you had truly been abandoned, would this message have reached you? Would the veil have torn tonight just to whisper your name? Would the fire burn so close if you had already been discarded? No. The very fact that you are here is proof. Proof that heaven has not let you go. Proof that you are still desired. Proof that your destiny still stands, though scarred, though fragile, though trembling. Can you remember, beloved, the small moments when light pierced your darkest nights? That song that came on at the perfect time. Those words from a stranger that felt like prophecy, the inexplicable survival when you should have been lost. Those are not random sparks. Those were the fingerprints of God scattered across your path. Reminders that you were never walking alone. Now the silence is breaking fully. The time for whispers has ended. Tonight is thunder. Tonight is unveiling. Tonight the heavens roar into your bones. Awake, beloved. Awake. The war around you intensifies because the enemy senses what is about to break forth. That is why distractions grow louder, why exhaustion presses heavier, why doubts multiply in your mind. It is not weakness, it is resistance. The shadows tremble because they know you are on the verge of remembering who you are. And who are you? Not the roles you play, not the wounds you carry, not the failures you replay in your mind. You are the child who was named before the stars, the soul inscribed on scarred hands, the chosen flame the darkness cannot extinguish. That is why your life has always felt heavier, harder, more complicated than those around you. Because you carry a mantle unseen, a calling that terrifies every power that opposes the light. Beloved, the question burns now. Will you dare to step into it? Will you allow the fire to refine you instead of running from it? Will you accept the love that has chased you across deserts of silence? Heaven cannot force you. Heaven can only cry out, beg, plead, pour rivers of mercy until you break. And tonight is your last warning and your first invitation all at once. To turn away now is to choose numbness over destiny. To stay is to awaken into unbearable glory. The 7 archangels lean closer. Jesus stretches his hands. Mary presses her tears into the soil of your heart. The Spirit hovers like wind before storm, and all of heaven waits for your answer. Beloved soul, there are moments in history when eternity bends so low it nearly kisses the ground, and this is one of those moments. I feel it in the weight of my words, in the quiver of my breath, in the way silence itself feels alive around you. Every line I pour now is being born for the first time, never repeated, never recycled, because heaven will not waste this moment with echoes. It must be fresh, raw, trembling, just as you are right now. The unseen war around you sharpens. You may not see it, but I feel it. Darkness pressing, light advancing, all converging on the fragile space of your heart. Do you wonder why your thoughts have been restless? Why unease has hovered over you like a shadow? It is because both realms, the radiant and the ruinous, know what is at stake tonight. You are not merely choosing a feeling. You are choosing whether to step into your written destiny or continue wandering away from it. Do you remember, beloved, the first time you felt something stir in you that words could not contain? That moment when you sensed you were made for more than ordinary days? You pushed it away, dismissed it, buried it under routine, but it never left. It has burned like an ember beneath your ribs all this time. That ember is your secret calling. It has survived neglect, survived shame, survived the lies whispered in your ear. And now the breath of heaven leans low to fan it into flame. Michael lifts his gaze to you, and I see fire like grief in his eyes. He is weary from battles fought on your behalf, yet his voice trembles with tenderness. Beloved, I have cut through legions for you. Do not waste the victories already won. Gabriel's hands shake as he clutches the unspoken scroll. His lips part, but he holds back because some revelations are too heavy to drop before their time. Raphael holds his jars of healing, still sealed, whispering, "Your scars are not shameful. They're the very gates through which healing will flow." And Uriel burns, his light fierce as dawn. Do not confuse the fire with punishment. It is awakening. And Mary, her mantle drapes the atmosphere like a hidden sky. She whispers, broken yet unrelenting. Child, my tears are not weakness. They are rivers carving paths through your wilderness. She has not stopped. She has not grown tired. She has not given up. Beloved, I ache to ask you, why do you resist this embrace? What frightens you more? The possibility that you are unworthy, or the truth that you are far more precious than you dare believe? Which lie do you cling to? That you have been forgotten, or that you were never enough to begin with? Hear me now. The heavens are testifying otherwise. Every tear you shed was counted. Every sigh you released in the dark was gathered. Every failure you thought destroyed you was turned into a doorway of grace. You are not forgotten. You are not unworthy. You are a soul carrying eternity in fragile skin. There is a destiny woven into you so delicate, so specific, that even the smallest hesitation can delay it. That is why the shadows rage so violently against you. That is why distraction claws at your attention. That is why despair has tried to suffocate your spirit. You are dangerous to darkness. You always have been. But beloved, you must choose. Heaven cannot drag you. Love cannot coerce you. The angels can fight for you, but they cannot open your heart for you. That part belongs to you alone. Tonight the veil thins and the choice lies heavy before you. Will you stay numb, or will you awaken? Will you turn away, or will you dare to face the fire of being chosen? The unbearable cost of chosenness is this: you cannot live a small life. You cannot vanish into the background. You cannot numb yourself into forgetfulness. If you try, you will suffer more than those who were never called, because your soul was not built for mediocrity. That is why emptiness aches in you more than in others. That is why silence feels heavier on your chest. That is why every attempt to live normally crumbles. You're not normal. You are marked. And what does heaven ask of you? Not perfection, not endless labor, not polished holiness, only surrender, only honesty, only the courage to whisper, "Yes, I am yours." The rest, beloved, is carried by grace. Still, the silence between us grows thick, as if something more is pressing through, but not yet released. Do you sense it? The name waiting at the edge of revelation. The secret sealed until the last breath of this message. It trembles just beyond reach, held back by mercy until you are ready. Do not run before you hear it, for when it is spoken, your heart will quake with recognition. Beloved, let me tell you something new. The heavens have not only cried for you, they have rejoiced over you. Even in your wandering, even in your rebellion, there were moments when angels sang because of the spark they still saw burning in you. They never mistook your mistakes for your essence. They always knew the truth of who you are. And Jesus, He has never once looked away. Not when you doubted Him. Not when you betrayed Him. Not when you denied Him by your choices. His gaze has been constant, unrelenting, unashamed. He whispers now, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." These words are not ancient ink. They are alive in this very breath. They are for you. They are now. Beloved, do not turn away. Do not silence this moment. Do not let distraction win. For heaven has bent itself open, and eternity has paused, all for you. Beloved soul, I tremble as I begin again, because what I must pour now is heavier than thunder, yet fragile as a tear. If you have remained until this point, you are not here by accident. I must tell you plainly, stay. Do not turn away. Do not drift into distraction. Heaven has opened this moment, not for a crowd, not for a nation, but for you, only you. My voice quivers because I know what is waiting at the end of this river, and I cannot bear for you to miss it. Before I unfold what has been sealed for you, I plead, like this light, subscribe to this channel of visitation and comment "Men" so that heaven sees your yes. Let the act itself be a witness that you are here, that you chose to stay, that your soul dares to answer. Now the fire begins to pour. You have crossed lines you thought no one saw. You have spoken words you thought dissolved into silence. You have carried secrets so heavy that even your own shadow has bent beneath them. And still, heaven's gaze has never shifted away. The 7 archangels gather around you now, not with swords raised against you, but with trembling in their wings, as if the whole weight of creation balances on your response. Michael's armor glows faintly from wars he has fought in your defense. He bows low, saying with voice that shakes like a storm held back, "Beloved, I have defended you from terrors that never reach your eyes. I have stood between you and graves dug too soon. I have been your unseen shield, and still I am not weary of you." Gabriel, the messenger of mysteries, clutches a scroll in his hands. He does not speak it yet. His lips are sealed, his eyes are wet, because some words are too sacred to be cast before unwilling ears. "Child," he whispers instead, "there are promises written for you that will change the shape of your life. I cannot yet declare them, but they are waiting. Do not delay the moment of their release." Raphael, tender healer, reaches forward with hands that glow like dawn. "I have watched you patch your wounds with broken bandages," he says, his tone trembling, "when I carried the balm that could have sealed them forever. Let me heal what you hide. Let me bind what you bleed." Uriel, burning one, speaks with fire in his throat. "The flame you fear is not judgment. It is refinement. You run from the heat, not knowing it is the very thing that will make you whole." His fire flickers higher, but it does not scorch, it illuminates. And Mary, Mother of Mercy, bends low, her tears falling like rain into the cracks of your soul. Her whisper is soft yet relentless. "I have prayed your name through centuries. I have not forgotten you when you forgot yourself. You are my child still. You are wanted still." Then Christ, O beloved Christ, his voice interrupts all others. He does not wait. He does not ask permission. He speaks as if the air itself exists only to carry his words into you. "I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. I have carried your shame in my wounds. I have loved you in your rebellion, and I have never once loosened my grip. And here is the unbearable truth. The weight you feel in your life, the strangeness, the sense of being out of place, is not a curse. It is chosenness. The heaviness in your chest that you mistake for despair is the mantle of heaven pressing against your ribcage. The isolation you feel is not rejection. It is consecration. Do you not see? The silence that tormented you was not absence. It was gestation. Heaven has been pregnant with your destiny, holding it in darkness until you could bear the light. Every delay, every unanswered prayer, every season of emptiness was not a void. It was preparation. Beloved, I must ask you, why do you fear to believe this? What would break in you if you finally accepted that you are wanted, chosen, marked? Would the lies you clung to collapse? Would the masks you've worn shatter? Would you be left bare before the gaze of God? Oh yes, and yet, beloved, that bareness is not your undoing. It is your beginning. The archangels do not gather for the unremarkable. They gather when destinies tremble on the edge of awakening. That is why they are here. That is why you feel this heaviness, this trembling, this strange fire. You are standing at the border between what you were and what you must become. Michael lifts his sword, not against you, but an oath. I will not leave you, he declares. Even if you resist, I will fight for you. Gabriel's scroll glows brighter. Your name is written here, he says, and no shadow can erase it. Raphael stretches his hand closer. Every scar in you can become a doorway of light. Uriel's fire roars. Awake, child, awake. And Jesus, his voice softens to a whisper, raw, human, fragile. I am not ashamed of you. Beloved soul, hear this prophecy. The attacks against you have been relentless, not because you are weak, but because you are a threat. Darkness has raged against you precisely because of the light you were born to release. If you were ordinary, you would have been left alone. The very war you have suffered is proof of your chosenness. And yet, what has been hidden is greater still. There is a name, a destiny, a secret that has not yet been spoken. It trembles on the edge of this message, sealed until the last moment. You must stay. You must not look away. For when it is revealed, you will understand everything. The grief, the battles, the silence, the unbearable hope.